Hello folks, hello, how you all doing? How are you? Trying to get this phone in. How you all doing today? Hello. Good day to you guys. Welcome to Karen's Vibe. Welcome to my space. The place is overcast. Seems as if we're gonna have rain, and I was just looking online, and they said Jamaica is under severe weather alert. I'm praying and hoping we don't get any hurricane or anything like that, because God knows we can't manage it right now. Blocking at the drains and everything. So let's hope for the best. But where I am, it's overcast, and I know rain is gonna fall soon. So it's a bit dark. Hope the folks having a good day so far. The day is not yet over, but trust you're having a good day so far. Okay. So we're going to read on. I'm going to read on. So I invite you to please join me by listening. If you have something doing, you can do it in the meantime, or if you want to just sit and relax and enjoy. So let me go right into it. I think the last place I left off, so if you are following me, the last video that I uploaded, we left off at this is where we were. It appeared as though he would allow the matter with Old Iron Blue to rest, at least for the time being. Alright, so we'll continue reading the book Come Back Old Iron Blue, and we are at let me just make sure. So we are at chapter 3. My here, I don't know if you can hear the thunder. Oh my goodness, we're out for a heavy shower of rain. So we're at chapter 3. Old Iron Blue set to the score. So we had started reading that yesterday, and this is where we had stopped. It appeared as though he would allow the matter with Old Iron Blue to rest, at least for the time being. So if you're following me in my other video, you've seen where I've left off. So I'm just going to pick up from there. Right, so let's go. So Old Iron Blue looked around and saw several pots. Oh, so the car came into the community, and the last part we were reading where he says to Papi Mac to put on make a big feast. Everybody can come and enjoy themselves. So we're at the big feast now. Old Iron Blue looked around and saw several pots. I tend to like fruits and nuts. I don't know, I'm just so obsessed with these cereal stuff. It has oats and stuff in it. It's something I like to chew sometimes. Alright, so let's get into it. Old Iron Blue looked around and saw several pots bubbling away on wood fires in all sections of the large yard. There were pots of all sizes and shapes. The ones that caught his attention were Miss Mildred's large yabba pot in the middle of the yard, Grandpa's old kerosene tins at the far end, and Miss Jopeline's enormous three-legged iron pot under the mango tree. My God! My God! Exclaimed Old Iron Blue. I've never seen an iron pot so big. This looks like the ones that they used to boil sugar in at the mill house. I think I better sit near to that pot. Oh my God, this man not easy. He went and took a seat on the low grass that Papi Mac's donkey had cropped evenly. He felt comfortable at that spot because of the size of the pot and he knew that Miss Joplin would treat him well. He was there patiently and contentedly looking on when someone in a sharp, urgent tone bellowed, look out, Old Iron Blue!" There was Bellicide almost upon him with a shiny motor stick made of heavy candlewood. The sound that the man made prompted Bellicide to wheel his blow at Iron Blue's head prematurely. The blow fell short by more than a foot. The momentum flung Bellicide to the ground, but still holding on to the mortar stick. The normally clumsy Old Iron Blue sprang up with such agility and speed as has never been witnessed before. He grabbed the mortar stick and flung it into the bamboo walk at the edge of the precipice. Bellicide grabbed at Old Iron Blue's neck, but Old Iron Blue got the better of him, lifting him to his shoulders. "Open your pot, Miss Joplin, and let me throw this irascible man into it." I wonder if he make up that word, irascible. "And let me throw this irascible man into it," said Old Iron Blue. "As soon as he is cooked, we will cut him up and use him to feed Papi Mac's hog." Oh, goodness. "He cannot hold in my pot. Furthermore, you would not want to spoil your food in that way," advised Miss Joplin. Bellicide struggled to release himself. He began boisterously cursing and swearing. His noise attracted the attention of everyone. People gathered around them. Mr. Battas came along as well. He burst into a thunderous laughter as he saw Bellicide on Old Iron Blue's shoulders, struggling to release himself. Let me go, I say. If you don't let me go, you will see what happens when I get away. You won't like it. You're squeezing me seed. Let me go and forget about the little fuss we had. You better finish it now or it will be judgment when I get away. You're cramping up my totos, Kang Teeth. Where is Kang Teeth? Let him go now. Let him go now, Old Iron Blue, the people requested. As soon as he was released, he cut his eyes at Old Iron Blue and limped away like some puppy dog. He put his tail between his legs and just walked with shame. For a while, the absence of Kang Teeth and Bellicide was noticeable. Even when Papi Mac came with a Jimmy John of First I hearing of this type of rum. You ever hear of that type of rum, Jimmy John? This is how they spell it, JIMMY-JON, Jimmy John. I've never seen that rum before. Ever heard of it? Even when Papi Mac came with a Jimmy John of overproof rum, they were not there. From where they were, they must have smelled the rum. A few short minutes after its arrival, they were happily drinking from their rum glasses. So that means to say, anywhere the rum there, they won't come. They smell it from a mile away. They seemed to have forgotten their fuss with Old Iron Blue, though they clearly avoided his path. Many dogs were around gathering the bits and pieces, but Bulrush was nowhere to be seen. Then Bulrush arrived and things changed dramatically. For all the other dogs, some darted away at his arrival. He began to issue his warning to those that remained. He stood near the gate and grumbled, exposing his scary teeth. A few more of the dogs heeded the warning and walked away, holding their heads low. 4 of them remained. Four of them remained, disregarding the presence of bulrush. Bulrush Bulrush darted in and attacked one of them and quickly put him to flight. Two more got the message and reluctantly strolled away. But Brian's dog, Warper, showed Bulrush no respect. Some people were annoyed at the action of Bulrush, but many were clearly amused. Everyone's attention was now drawn to Bulrush and the defiant Warper. Bulrush drew close and arched his back, causing every hair on his mane to lift. He exposed his teeth and growled at Warper. The defiant dog stood his ground and growled back. Simultaneously, they charged at each other, and the angry growls, grumbles, and wails that followed. The wrath and fury were unbelievable. They were moving fast, swaying here and there with angry, scary teeth flying everywhere. People were hauling themselves out of the path of the flying teeth, tumbling over and even falling on the ground. They were creating havoc in the place. Already, one of Miss Smith, please forgive me because I tend to have a list at times, so please forgive me. So forgive me for that. Where were we now? They were creating havoc in the place. Already, one of Miss Smith's meat pots was knocked from the fire with the threats of other pots to go likewise. A few minutes and Bulrush was gaining the upper hand, but not even Old and Blue wanted the fight to continue. "Cut that out, Bulrush," he exclaimed, but his instructions were unheeded. It seemed as if there was no end in sight. Suddenly, Warper bolted away with Bulrush giving chase. Away down the road they flashed, and there was a sigh of relief. "You will have to get rid of that dog. He's going to create serious problems for you," a man warned Old and Blue. "Look how many bad things you have done in this community, and nobody has ever thought of getting rid of you. Why don't you think about getting rid of yourself before you think about getting rid of my dog?" Wow. Who's been saucy? "If you need a piece of rope to hang yourself, I will supply you with it," offered Old and Blue, with a cold look on his face. Old and Blue facing and out of order. "You took away Gordon's," so here Tori come to bump now. "You took away Gordon's woman and bought Fool Jack's 5 acres of prime land for £1. Yet you are still here?" The man said nothing more and walked away. By now, everyone was fully engaged in eating. Bulrush had quietly returned and was the sole dog, picking up the bones and pieces everywhere. What a terrible dog. Short Boot and his wife were seen approaching from the far end of the road. Remember that unusual couple? She was carrying on her head an exceptional long piece of green bamboo. He had on his shoulder a small piece of dry bamboo. What will you be doing with such a long bamboo?" asked Miss Jopelin as they hurried past. "To wattle my kitchen with," she said as she hurried by, not wanting to answer any further questions. A group of smartly dressed men arrived. They represented the local Mento band. Their musical instruments included 2 drums, 2 roughly made guitars, 2 large banjos, a rumba box, a trumpet, a saxophone, a shaker, and several bamboo fifis. While the rest tuned their instruments, one fifi man named Ralph started playing his fifi. His notes were so clean and clear that he compelled immediate attention. His tune was so melodious, his tune was so melodious that everyone marveled. The expression was on their faces, but they said nothing to each other, not even a whisper, not even a bird sang, not a dog barked, not even the wind rustled the leaves. Not even the wind rustled the leaves in the trees. He played for nearly half an hour, and everyone there was spellbound. Not even Old Iron Blue was oblivious to the stroke of genius he displayed. Though he had been eaten through the performance, he stopped and shook his head in appreciation. At the end of his presentation, everyone exploded into a spontaneous and prolonged applause. At the end of his presentation, everyone exploded into a spontaneous and prolonged applause. Teacher Turnbull remarked that one of the remarkable things in life is how a genius can take an ordinary, commonplace item and turn it into a magical wonder. We are sorry, he lamented, that we have no means of recording such a presentation for posterity. Not prosperity, for posterity. You will never hear a better fifi man until the day you die. By then, most people had finished eating. Only Old Iron Blue and a few other men with large appetites continued. One woman, not knowing that Old Iron Blue was the owner of the dog, pointed at Bulrush. "Look at that dog's belly. It is so large. It seems as if it will soon have puppies," she stated. "A man dog cannot have puppies, you damn fool," blurted out Old Iron Blue angrily. It never ceased to puzzle me how some people who think that they're smart can go around and talk nonsense. Only woman dog can have puppies. "It was only a joke," she calmly said. "It was just a joke," she calmly replied. "As you can clearly see, me and my dog don't come here for jokes," he advised her. "But all I'm blue terribly my leg when in my eating him no nice." I think the rain has started. Yes, the rain has started to drizzle. I love when the rain is falling, especially when I'm sleeping and it's actually falling on the zinc. I tend to suffer from insomnia, So what I usually do is go on YouTube and turn on those rain sounds that make you sleep. Just I love when the rain falls. At times, apart from when I'm in the town of Brownstone or Ocherous and the place is all mucky. And worse if I don't have on the right shoes. Anyhow. So here we had stopped that. "As you can clearly see, me and my dog don't come here for jokes," he advised her. The drummers rattled their drums, followed by the rest of the musicians. Most of the older folk started rocking to the music. The only person still eating was Old Iron Blue. Bulrush, of course, was still here and there picking up bits and pieces. As evening was approaching, many of the people who were there from earlier began to stroll home. As the sun sank beyond the western hills, darkness descended rapidly. The people began to light their lanterns and bottle lamps. These lights were placed at strategic points where they could be of maximum value. More young people arrived on the scene, but they were clearly not happy. They wanted Macintosh sound system to provide entertainment for the occasion. If his sound system was on location, the place would be well lit, as he would take along his Delco to provide current for his machine and bright light for the surrounding. Though they were dissatisfied, there was nothing they could do at that time. They hoped that someone at an early date would arrange a dance and employ a sound system, as none has ever come to the community. The musicians played all night, stopping at intervals for rest and refreshment. By morning, only a handful of people remained. No one knew exactly when Old Iron Blue and his dog left. So we are at, we're coming into our book. We are at chapter 4. Miss Hemlyn writes Old Iron Blue. So we're going to read some of chapter 4. This will be done. Hope you are enjoying it. And I'll soon be reading without making these mistakes at times. So I'll soon get into it and I'll be perfectly on my way. So just bear with me. So we're at chapter 4. Miss Hemlyn writes Old Iron Blue. For more than a week, Old Iron Blue saw or heard nothing of Miss Hemlyn. Remember his secret admirer? Okay, so this chapter is about her. For more than a week, Old Iron Blue saw or heard nothing of Miss Hemlyn. He felt happy as he concluded that she must have given up her interest in him. One Sunday morning, Old Iron Blue received a letter taken to him by a little boy. The boy could not explain whom he had gotten the letter from, so Old Iron Blue quickly opened it. As soon as he pulled the letter from the envelope, the odor of an evil-smelling ointment hit his nostrils. So bad was the smell that he felt as though he would faint. Here you know, here you know, here you know. He looked at the signature and saw that it was from Miss Hemlyn. What is this wretched woman writing me about now? And it seems she put some guzzle in the envelope. I do they say guzzle, they mean obia, guzzle. I should crumble and throw it away, but I want to see what is in it, pondered Old Iron Blue. Old Iron Blue was not a very competent reader, and the letter was not legible written, so he had some difficulty reading it. It took him a while to decipher some of the words she wrote. So this is the letter. Now we're going to read the letter. So this is the letter. Dear Old Iron Blue, I hope when these few lines of mine reaches you, it may find you in the best of health. I write to tell you how she spell right, R-I-T-E. I write to tell you that I am trying convey some, this is how she write the letter. I write to tell you that I am trying to convey some information to you, but you are not very receptive. What receptive? She spell receptive. You're not very receptive. I chose you because you are a very strong man and you are single. As soon as get this letter, you can answer me right away or visit me at my home. If you do not respond to this letter, I will take it for an insult. If anyone insult or embarrass me, I will never cease. Because this is how she spells cease, E-E-S-E. I will never cease until I get my revenge. And revenge is Rivenge. Some of these people who died mysteriously in this district would be alive today if they had chosen not to embarrass me. I tolerate impertinence from no one. And because she spelled so she wanted to say impertinence, but this is how she said impertinence. She spelled it. I tolerate impertinence from no one, whether he be spouse or, because she spelled whether with WETHER, whether he be spouse, friend, or foe. I hope you will not make that fatal mistake. I expect, so this is how she spelled expect, ESPEK. I expect, Patwa, expect to hear from you within the next 24 hours. I am your admirer, Hemlyn. Things are going for Old and Blue. On reading the letter, Old and Blue became enraged. I am an irascible man. Every time I reach this word, let me can't pronounce it. I am an irascible man. I am going to Hemlyn's house immediately to warn her to flush all interest in me. I do not want any companion at this time. And even if I was looking somebody, I would never want an ugly, mash-mouth, 9-finger, maga woman like that. What a description. I am not afraid of her. As he walked away from his gate, he saw Miss Joplin. You seem very angry, Old and Blue, she said. Yes, look at this. He exploded, handing her the letter. Oh my gosh, she exclaimed. I did not know that she was such an evil soul. I smell something funny. It seemed as if it is this letter, it seems as if this letter has obia oil on it, and a lot of people here now, well, I don't have to say a lot of people. Some people believe in obia, you know. So Hemlyn is saying obia oil is on the letter. It seems as if obia oil is on it. I don't know what is on it, said Old and Blue, but it smells funny. Old and Blue, Old and Blue, it is you I'm coming to visit, to tell you what I heard, and to warn you about Hemlyn. You're mixed up now. I learned that she is boasting that she will soon get you at her house, under the guise of being her spouse. But all she wants is to work you like a jackass. She says you are big and strong and not very clever, so she can program you to obey her will, whether they be evil or good. I also learned that she has some dirty work that she wants you to carry out on her behalf. Well, Miss Joplin know everybody busy in the community. Just a second, folks. Let me turn. It's a little hot. Rain. Sometimes when rain is gonna fall, it tends to bring a lot of heat. Alright, let's continue. Thank you very much, Miss Joplin. Many people believe that I have no sense, so they do not listen to me when I talk. That is why I have to hammer home my points with my fist so often, stated Old and Blue with an emphatic swing of his fist. Mr. Batters came along. Read this letter, Mr. Batters, instructed Old and Blue. As soon as he started reading, he began to laugh. He laughed so hard that tears ran from his eyes. And no better him love laugh. I just imagine you kissing your bride on your wedding day, declared Mr. Butters to another round of laughter. To another round of laughter. You chat too much damn nonsense. Give me back the letter, stated old Iron Blue, pulling it away from Mr. Butters. He angrily tore it into small bits and tossed it away. I'm going to Hemlyn's home now to warn her. Come, Bulrush. Be careful, warned Miss Joplin. She may hypnotize you and calmly pull you into her house. Who? Me? I cannot be hypnotized, stated old Iron Blue. With quick, angry steps, old Iron Blue covered the journey in little time. On arrival at the gate, he called in an aggravated tone. Miss Hemlyn came out and tried to invite him in. I'm not coming into your yard. I merely come to warn you that you must take no further interest in me, as you're wasting your time, he said plainly. I understand you clearly, she said calmly. But I see that you are hot and tired. Let me get a glass of cool drink for you. Old Iron Blue waited at the gate until she returned. Old Iron Blue waited at the gate until she returned with the drink. He took it from her, but instead of drinking it, he crashed the glass with the drink on a large stone at the gate. The glass splintered into pieces as Old Iron Blue walked away, daring her to come in pursuit. Okay, Old Iron Blue, she shouted as he walked away. I believe you must have read my letter. As soon as he was out of sight, she began speaking to herself. I know where some deadly nightshade plants are growing. At nightfall, I'm going to get some, squeeze the juice, and pour in his water container. What a terrible woman. He lives alone, so that will take care of him alone. My goodness. She is terrible. She could scarcely wait for nightfall. She carried no light, as she did not want to be detected. She went into the bushes and collected her nightshade. By the time she came back on the road, it was quite dark and visibility was rapidly decreasing as a blanket of black clouds came over the sky, covering the moon. So dark had it become that only her knowledge of the roadway enabled her to move. But she was determined to take home the shrub, get the juice out, and take it back to Old Iron Blue's home before he and Bulrush came home. A few chains from her home, she bumped into something in the middle of the road, and before she could scream or get out of the way, she was, oh my goodness. Let's read this again. A few chains from her home, she bumped into something in the middle of the road, and before she could scream or get out of the way, she was dealt a crippling blow to the side of her head. She fell to the ground unconscious. I wonder what could have happened now. A few minutes later, a group of people coming home from church service with their bottle lamps saw the figure lying on the road. Nearby the edge of the road was what appeared to be a mule cropping grass. No one wanted to go near to the figure as they wondered what it was. At last, one brave man with his bottle lamp came, bent down and looked. "It's Miss Hemlyn," he exclaimed. "She's bleeding from the ears and nose." Everyone rushed in. "Is she dead?" they asked. It seems someone hit her down," said one. "No," said another. "I think it's a mule kicked her down." "See if she's dead," said another. "No, she's breathing." "We have to get Pappy Mac's car to take her to the hospital." "Let her stay there and die," came an advice, which was ignored. In less than 20 minutes, Pappy Mac's car came rumbling down the road. They lifted and placed her in the car. She was taken to the hospital where she was admitted. So see Miss Hemlyn, in the dark of night, I don't know what hit her down. And the people coming from church assisted her. She was taken to the hospital where she was admitted. When Miss Joplin heard, she made it her duty to go in search of Old and Blue to inform him. So this is Miss Mother Pepper, salt. Yeah, that way in Jamaica, you go fast and everything. Yeah, salt, yeah, pepper. So this is Miss Joplin. She have to know everything. They're the police investigator. When Miss Joplin heard, she made it her duty to go in search of Old and Blue to inform him. "Old and Blue," she exclaimed. "A mule kicked Miss Hemlyn on the road last night, almost killing her. She is now in the hospital. She's unconscious. No one expects her to live." On hearing, Old and Blue simply shrugged his shoulders without any emotional reading on his face. So otherwise in the care. "Aren't you making any comment?" she asked. He shrugged his shoulders again, twitched his lips and callously walked away as Miss Joplin desperately tried to read his reaction. The following morning, when people visited the area where the accident occurred, they observed the nightshade leaves. They concluded that she was on an evil mission and had received her just reward. In the hospital, no one from the community visited her. Oh my, this is so sad. In the hospital, no one from the community visited her. Neither did she return. This is sad. After a few weeks, someone visited the hospital for another reason and learned that she had died a few days after admission. This is really sad. When and where she was buried, no one knew. Yeah, we're ending on a sad note. I didn't want Miss Hemlyn to die, despite everything. Despite she was Old and Blue, secret admirer, I didn't want her to die. Oh man. So when and where she was buried, no one knew. Can you imagine living in a community and nobody cared about you? I can't believe she was such a bad person in that community that nobody went to visit her, nobody cared whether she lived or died. That's really sad. Sad, sad, sad. But anyway, so we're going to end there today. We're going to end there for now. So we're at chapter 5. So see, we're going through. So we're at chapter 5. So the next, when we come back on, we'll be reading chapter 5. And chapter 5 will be Old and Blue becomes greedier. So we're getting into our book. We're getting into our book. So we'll stop there for today. When we come back on, we will pick up there. Yes, so thank you folks for listening. Thank you for taking the time to visit my page and joining me and just taking the time to listen. You didn't have to, so I appreciate it. And those who are not on yet, when you come across my page and you take the time to sit down and listen, I appreciate it. As I usually say, please remember to like, subscribe, and share. I'm trying to get at least, as YouTube says, at least 50 persons. I'm able to eventually I will be able to just live stream from my page, and that's what I want to do. So thank you. Before I go, I wanted to send condolences to a very good friend of mine I knew from I was a child, and I was supposed to do it from last week. A very good friend of mine died. She was a well-known person in the community of Brownstown, St. Anne. Her name is Miss Norma Walters. So she lived around Liberty Valley, and she was a JP. You could always go to her. Whenever you go to her, she was a person that, just was never able to say no. She was always a willing person. Never tell you no. I mean, sometimes when she starts, she say, oh, come back another day, or, check me so and such a time. But she was always willing, never say no. And, I was saddened that last week she passed away at the St. Bay Hospital. Just suddenly passed away. I'm not sure of the circumstances. But she was up in age a little, but she had a lot of more life left in her, Miss Norma Walters. I think at one point she was the principal down at the Brownstown Community College. Very nice lady, very nice lady. I can genuinely say that Miss Norma was a very nice lady. And she's going to be missed. She's going to be missed. And she will not be forgotten. Many times I used to go around to her house. There are times when I would sit and have tea with her. Oh my goodness, I would sit on her veranda and she would say, oh Karen, stick your pinky out. Because I'm a tea person. I'm actually have some teas coming out on the market, but eventually I will introduce those onto my page. But I used to go around to her house and would sit on the veranda and have tea. And she would say, Karen, stick your pinky out. And there's several times she used to have these pretty little napkins. And I'm a very sentimental person. And after we'd finish having tea, I would say, please, Miss Norma, can you sign the napkin and date it? So at least I have something to remember that I did sit with you and have tea. And those are the memories of her that I will treasure. She was a very good pianist also. She used to play the piano at the Anglican church. And she normally teach music lessons. Very gifted person, very intelligent, very bright. She was just a wonderful person, and we've lost a great person in this community. And as I said, she won't be forgotten. It's just so sad, We all know that, it's inevitable. I mean, I always say that if we're not sure about nothing else, we're sure about death. Because as sure as you're born, you're going to die. But, when it happens and you lose a loved one, it's really sad. It's really sad. It's sad. And it's shocking just for her to just never expected her to just be gone like this. But, it's life. So I want to send condolences to her family. Those who are hurting at this moment, that send them love and light, and that God will comfort them, because it's not easy in a time like this. But I do miss Miss Norma, and I used to go and borrow books from her too, because she had some lovely books. I used to go and borrow books from her, and she was always talking about history and stories that she read, and I used to enjoy it, just sit down and just listen to her. She was a treasure, and she won't be forgotten. She'll be missed, and she won't be forgotten. And the happy memories, she was a very happy person. So the memories that I have of her, I'm going to treasure those. Treasure the memories. Yeah, so Miss Norma Walters, rest in peace. May your soul rest in peace, sweetheart. Life well lived, and you left a mark on Brownstone. And you won't be forgotten. And you're loved. You'll always be loved. Alright guys, so I am gonna go. You guys continue to enjoy the rest of your evening. Be safe out there. Be safe out there. Be safe out there. Have a good evening, and I will see you tomorrow. Alright, take care.